Right in on number one here. And the first one is that coaching skills are a success variable. As trainers, we always think about what diet are they following? Are they following the best diet? And what does their workout look like? And how does that affect body composition? We think about those things naturally, but I'm here to tell you that how you coach your client is as important as the workout itself. It's as important as the food decisions they're making themselves. Now, from a coaching standpoint, what do I mean by coaching? It's you telling your clients exactly what to do. This is not about giving them tips for the weekend. This is not about making suggestions. It's not about sharing ideas. Those are okay to do, but that's not coaching. So you know how prescriptive you are when you strength train. It is the same thing when you're coaching. In most cases, we're talking about eating here. When we're coaching health habits, it is the same thing. You are telling them exactly what to do from a to-do standpoint. And now the last supporting principle here is that when you are a good coach, their compliance goes up on everything. They're more likely to make the workout. They're more likely to work hard in the workout. They're more likely to keep doing the things that you've got them doing. So that success, as we've often heard, drives success with other health habits. And so that one skill that you're bringing to the table as a coach spills into a lot of areas beyond just improving body composition as part of a body composition challenge. So that's number one. Your skills are a success variable as a coach. Number two is that you need to role model your tactics. And so if you want to be a linebacker coach in the NFL, you're probably not a practicing certified public accountant. You've probably been living football your whole life, and you probably were a professional football player, and now you're an effective linebacker coach. And the reverse is true, right? How many CPAs are linebacker coaches in the NFL? Zero. There's a reason for that. So you have to model the exact behaviors that you're going to coach your clients to engage in. This works on two levels. One, you have much more credibility. This is a gargantuan issue in wellness today, in healthcare and medicine. You go to your doctor, your nurse, your health practitioner, whoever it is, they'll tell you to do something. They're not doing it. So the probability of those people doing those things goes way down when the person telling them to do it is not doing it. So whatever tactics you're using, you've got to first be modeling those tactics. The second one is it helps you from a problem-solving standpoint. If I'm telling Patty what to do, and she says, well, Richard, I'm busy, I'm entertaining clients, I'm in the restaurant, I don't have time to manage this issue in my life, I'm going to tell her, wait a second, Patty, you can do it, here's how I do it, let's get on to business and look at the tactics and the to-dos and how-tos. So your problem solving, your ability to break through their rationalizations and avoidances and excuses is completely related to whether you've broken through it. So you gain on multiple levels when you're practicing these tactics that you're using with your clients. So that's number two, role model your tactics. Number three is use self-monitoring. Don't just self-monitor. So the normal term we use here is record keeping, but technically it's self-monitoring. So what has happened for years in lifestyle medicine is that we say, hey, tracking behaviors is good, keep a record of those behaviors, great. What people do is that the day passes, at the end of the day, they try to remember now, what did I eat for breakfast this morning? Was that 2 donuts or 1 donut? I can't remember. So you want to have them recording what they eat as they eat it at least 3 times a day during the day, every day. And so this is the difference between looking at what happened at the end of the day, what we'd call a lagging indicator, right? We do this in our business. We look at the profit and loss. That doesn't give me a chance to change things. The profit loss is after the fact. I can't change anything about my profits after the month is over. You can't change anything about the day if all you do is look at the end of the day data. So you have to be seeing the numbers during the day, multiple times a day, to be able to turn this into a leading indicator where you can start to make what we call left turn, right turn decisions. Say, oh, here's where I am. All right, I've got dinner tonight out with Sue. I'm going to have to adjust this, and that has to happen. So it's literally like a virtual coach. If I went to Patty for 15 seconds, 3 times, they said, Patty, where are you at so far? Okay, good. What's the goal for the day? Okay, good. What's happening tonight? Okay, are you ready for that? That 15 seconds has a huge impact on her changing what she does later in the day. That's what self-monitor is. So getting people used to, whether it's their smartphone, whatever they're using, whatever tracking system they're using, seeing where they're at a couple times a day versus logging it in at the end of the day after things are said and done. So use self-monitoring. Don't just keep records day to day. Number 4 is give your clients weekly challenges. So you've got behaviors you want them to do, right? You've got things that you hope they execute on. Don't just send them out with, your fingers crossed and say, geez, I hope they do pretty well on this eating plan this week. Tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. I'll give you an example. One of the things in our program is increasing vegetable consumption. And so if Joe says, hey, Richard, I've got that party with my clients tonight and we're in the fancy restaurant and I don't know how to deal with that, I don't know how to get vegetables. Joe, here's what I'd suggest. You're going to not order off the menu. You're going to ask your server, what do you guys have in the kitchen tonight from a vegetable standpoint? Give me 2 cups of those in addition to my entree, and then we're going to follow up on it next week. This is now a structured learning experience for Joe. He knows exactly what to do. He's got the to-dos. When he comes back, what I'm not going to ask him, I'm not going to say, Joe, how was your week? I'm going to say, Joe, did you do the assignment? Yes or no? Oh, you did it. Fantastic. Tell me about it, Joe. How did it go? What did the server say? What did your clients say? What did it feel like to do that? Did it make a difference? And then the kicker is, Joe, can you repeat that behavior? And how soon? By when? Can you do that on Tuesday again, Joe? Because you've got another client dinner out on Tuesday. So you're taking this idea of, I hope they eat better, right? I hope they eat sensibly, and turn it into a very tangible, specific learning experience where they're engaged in specific behaviors that are relevant to their circumstance, and then I'm assigning it to them again next week. This is an assignment. This is not, again, you're coaching these guys. You're not just going home and praying that they do well. You're telling them what to do, how to do it, following up, and if Joe hit a roadblock, what's going to happen? We're going to revisit that assignment and say, how do we make that happen this week, and so on. So give them assignments for the behaviors that you want them to do. And then lastly, you want to provide structure. Structured diets generate more weight loss than unstructured diets, plain and simple. An unstructured diet is what we call the free choice diet. This is where people have to decide what to eat during the day. Now, your clients come to you with 600 years of experience, right? They've been living their lifestyle for the last 5,000 years. So when they come to you, these are really over-practiced behaviors. They're what we call non-cortically driven. They don't have to think about it. They do not have to think about going into the donut shop and getting donuts. It happens automatically. So what we're doing here is giving them a timeout from the real world. The easiest way to add structure is to use portion and calorie controlled foods. What is this? Shakes, bars, entrees. The science on this is overwhelming. I've given you some of that science on the back of the handout that you'll get later tonight when you see me. But what's happening is this is not about macros. It's not about carbs or fats. It's about reducing decisions in an environment that doesn't work. I mean, when was the last time your clients woke up and said, Patty, at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, my goal is to gain weight this year. Nobody says that, but they're gradually inching up, increasing body fat, losing muscle if they're not strength training. So this is happening because the environment we live in is so terrible. And so we're asking them to make a countercultural change in how they think. The best way to do that is to give them a timeout. And that's what meal replacements do. They decrease decision anxiety. They provide fewer decisions because Rick's going to blend up that fruit smoothie shake and get the nutrients he needs to be full throughout the day. I'm not going to say, Rick, now go to Dunkin' Donuts and be careful not to order the donuts. Have a small muffin for 400 calories. I don't even want him in Dunkin' Donuts. I want him to have fewer decisions, decrease that decision anxiety, which allows him to be more successful overall. So what we've really said is that your coaching is a success variable. You need to model your tactics if you want to have any chance of coaching them on these behaviors. You want to have them be self-monitoring throughout the day, not just at the end of the day, throughout the day, every day. Give them challenges. Tell them what to do in a world that gives them 6,000 incorrect options, and then add structure to the diet. The easiest way to do that is to just have them use meal replacements. And this can be a lifelong behavior, guys. The longest study to date's out of Harvard, 10 years. If you just tell people, hey, if you start to gain weight, eat a couple of these shakes. You folks over here, I want you to intentionally try to cut back. Guess who weighs less 10 years later? The people that are just using meal replacements. That's all they did. 32 pounds less 10 years later by just saying, hey, if you find the scales going up, have a shake, cut some calories. That is the simplest way to get to your clients without trying to problem solve the 6,000 other challenges that they're running into on a daily basis. Now, that's a lot of information I've just thrown at you quickly. There may be some questions. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those. Who here is actually coaching clients around their eating habits or doing a body composition challenge? Is anyone doing that right now? Some of you guys are. Okay. Is Discover Strength still doing several annual or body comp challenges? Okay. All right. And I know you guys are giving some general advice with that. What challenges are you guys facing? How else can I help you tonight around working with clients?
So when it comes to modeling what you're coaching people on, I'm constantly in working in a calorie surplus. So I'm trying to gain weight.
Yes.
I lose weight really quickly.
Okay, sure.
You know, when a lot of my clients come to me and they're asking about losing weight and maintaining that, it's hard to try and preach that when I am actively doing the opposite. I'm trying to consume more than I'm burning.
Yeah. Where'd this guy come from, right? No, I know Tyler. Well, you know, and here's the beautiful thing, guys. The things that you're going to do, I mean, you're not gaining weight, Tyler, because you said, I hope I can get obese and have chronic illnesses, right? You want to be healthy, right?
Right.
So there has to be crossover between healthy weight gain and long-term healthy lifestyle. So what does your vegetable and fruit consumption look like?
As much as I can eat.
Okay, all right, good.
Honestly, like it's just as much as I can eat per day is what I'm trying to.
Are you doing a protein shake at all as a tool in your day?
So usually in the morning I'll consume 30 to 50 grams of protein right off the bat, and then after my workouts, so I work out 4 times a week. And after that, I'll have another 80 grams of protein, and then I'll supplement that with like lunch and dinner, which ideally is around 60 to 80 grams of protein.
Okay.
And then it's like carbs. I'm trying, not just putting whatever in my body. I'm still trying to maintain like healthy carbs.
Absolutely.
And as many servings of fruits.
Do you buy a lot of junk food and keep it in your house?
No.
I'm kidding, but you don't do that, right? So see, here's someone. This is a good example. Tyler's trying to gain weight, but he's using a functional food as a tool. That's what meal replacements are. Whether you're trying to go up or down in calories, that's a tool to help get nutrients in, right?
Right.
He's eating vegetables and fruits, he tells me, right? He's not bringing dozens of donuts into his house. We call that environmental control. You've got behaviors that are actually practicing that are transferable to what they're doing. Those sort of skills, specific skills around those things. So you can share that with clients and let them know how you're gaining weight in a healthy way. Ultimately, it's their health, isn't it? I mean, there isn't a single magical body composition. It's about better health, decent body composition, and so on. So you have a little more experience, and you realize that you can call upon. I mean, we could do a seminar on how does Tyler not bring Twinkies home? What do you do?
I mean, okay, so that being said,
I'm kidding.
If there's a pint of ice cream, like I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to eat it.
Right.
It's like it's not going to hurt me.
Yes, but you can't. We're doing things that we don't see as sort of fundamental health habits sometimes, and in sharing some of those with clients and using that as a reference for how you talk to them about what they're going to do. It helps you to guide that process. I mean, my routine is I'm shopping twice a week. I could literally be blindfolded and work my way through the supermarket, getting the foods I need and avoiding 2/3 of what's in the supermarket. You realize as a supermarket, it's a miracle if they make it there, right? Versus fast food or convenience food or restaurants. But even in a supermarket, you've got 40,000 foods. Most of it is highly processed, high calorie, low nutrition foods, backed with billion-dollar marketing campaigns that move at the speed of light. So I'm telling my client, hey, Sue, go to the supermarket. Try to escape the booby traps that are all set in the supermarket and get out with a little bit of fresh produce if you can. So that still takes skill. What are you buying? When do you go? Can you get out with very little other stuff? And the store is designed to get you to buy other stuff, of course. So there's lots of sort of micro skills here along the way that go into this. And you guys are doing some of that. Anytime you share that with your client, it gives them confidence in you, more credibility, and it helps you to get into that discussion of the to-dos. You do things automatically that you don't think about as a skill, but for someone who's struggled, it's a skill to pull these things off. It just doesn't happen automatically. So I think you have a little more there than you realize, Tyler, in terms of to-dos around what you can help the client with. Yeah. Other questions, concerns, thoughts at all? Everyone's achieving phenomenal results with all their clients. Oh, bad blood results? Oh, bad. Oh. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. I'd say that when we look at, I'd ask him, why is he trying to improve his body composition? Do you know what his motivation is?
Yeah, he wanted to build his
For his 40th, okay. And why? And I'm just going to role model this conversation. So, Taylor, tell me, why would you want to do that for your 40th? What's the purpose behind it? Yeah.
He just wanted to be in good shape.
Okay. You want to be physically in good shape. So, I mean, let's be honest, guys. We live in a world that is literally moving at the speed of light in the wrong direction. So when our clients say, hey, I want to get leaner, I want to do this, are you trying to avoid dying of bone cancer in the next 6 months or 12 years? I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but they're of course wanting to live their best life, right? And so part of that is having health habits that support that long term as well. So we always bring it back to the fundamentals here in terms of risk of chronic disease, quality of life, etc. Turning 40 and wanting to be physically fit and look your best is great, but as we all know, 40 is kind of the starting point